spend most of your month waiting for your next paycheck so you can pay your bills. See, that is even deeper than the average person, right? When you're spending most of your month waiting for your next paycheck, that means you have exhausted all of your expenses in the beginning of the month, right? With so many things that you probably don't need, guys. You know, because a lot of people are afraid to downsize when they have to, and it happens, right? Um, that they end up having very little money left over to barely even make it to work to get their next paycheck. And so they end up cutting expenses, cutting food, cutting everything they can do. Some people end up riding a damn bicycle to work, okay, just to save money on gas so that they have enough money by the time the next paycheck comes to pay their bills, right? Um, Another question I ask you people: how many of you barely have enough money left over after you pay those bills, right? If you barely have enough money after you pay your bills, then you need to begin what my mentor told me to do. Stop the bleeding, guys. Stop the bleeding, and the only way you stop the bleeding is you start cutting back on your expenses, cutting back on things you have to do, cutting back on your lifestyle and how you are living, guys. And this takes a little bit of discipline and a lot of effort on your part, guys. A lot of effort. You have to push your ego all the way down as your friends don't see you driving the nicest car. You know, for many years, guys, I drove a Toyota Corolla. Got up to 500,000 miles before it gave up on me, guys. So, yeah, you can do it. You can do it, right? Because that new car, a couple of months in, nobody really cares that you have a new car. And for you, it's just another bill. So that is not how you want to base your life, right? You don't want to base your life on trying to keep up on what everybody else is doing and how everybody else is doing it, because that will land you in a very bad place in life. So one of the things that my mentor asked me, and I want to ask you guys this, because you need to ask yourself these questions in order to begin to change, right? I know that's a curse word to many of you guys, but in order to have a different life, you're going to have to change, right? And so one of the things he asked me was, what is the first thing you do with your money when your paycheck hits your bank account? See, and that was a powerful question for me, because even before my paycheck hit my bank account, I was thinking about all the things that I wanted to buy with my paycheck, right? For you guys now, what was Amazon, right? So all you guys are looking at Amazon. You got tons of things in your cart, and as soon as your paycheck hits your bank account, bang, you're hitting buy, and you're buying on Amazon, and you're throwing tons of things that you truly don't need. You know, one of my mentors told me that I only need to be using one credit card, and with that one credit card, I need to also have that credit card put away, so that it takes time for me to get to that credit card, right? It takes time for me to get to that credit card in order to make the purchase, which gives me time to think before I spend my money on something that I probably do not need, right? It's more of a want, not a necessity. So credit cards do not need to be spent on wants, okay? If you spend them, and they don't need to be spent on necessities either, by the way, guys. Your credit cards need to be spent on things that help you to leverage to make more money, period. So if you're not using your credit card for that, you're probably using it for the wrong thing. If you brought a Louis Vuitton bag with your credit card, you probably made a very foolish purchase. I hate to break it down to you, but that is the facts, guys. Okay? All the expensive gifts that you buy, which excuse me, guys. Um, all the gifts that you buy with your credit cards and everything else, man, bad idea, man. If you don't have the money to buy something with cash, then you probably should not buy it. It's probably not recommended. Okay? That's the next thing. What is the first thing you do with your money when it hits your bank account? The next thing, my mentor told me, and it was about my job, right? He said, what is your plan to be noticed as an asset, right? An asset to your company. And so this was something that I needed to think about because um, nobody around me was trying to be an asset to the company. And if they were trying to be an asset, so many people talk so many derogatory things about them that um, I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want to be the person that was talked about by my peers. And what I realized was that that was the wrong group of peers that I should have been around, you know. And if you were going to embark on a career, right, where you're receiving a paycheck, right, and this is what you do, and you are locked in to trading your time for money, okay, at least the time that you trade for money should be something pleasurable, something you get excited about, something you are on fire about, and something you are behind 100% when it comes to the mission of your company and what your boss is trying to achieve or your company is trying to achieve. Now, if you are directly behind that and you are totally into it, guys, then hey, go for it. Go for the career, okay? And give your all to it 100% and get excited about what you're doing because it can be an exciting time because you may not have your own mission that you want to get behind. You know, you may not have that motivation to do your own thing. You may feel that you are best served working towards someone else's mission. And if that's how you feel, truly how you feel, then that is okay, guys. It's okay. It's just not what I believe is making money. You are working for a paycheck and you're working for somebody else's mission. But if you want to join somebody's mission, then go for it, right? But go all in. Go all in to the point where you're excited every day when you get up and you go to work. So, my mentor asked me that. He says, since you are dedicating your life to this career, you have to learn how to become an asset to the company. Learn how to become an asset to your boss, to your supervisor, to your manager. Because if you're going to be working this long-term plan that you are working toward a pension, then every day you need to become more and more valuable to your employer. And still doesn't guarantee you a paycheck, but what it does is it helps you to begin to work on your skills, to become better at what you're doing, and those skills, even if you no longer work for that company, you could take those skills somewhere else, right? And recreate what you were doing with your company to be an asset to somebody else or a valuable asset to yourself and your own mission. So that's very, very important to you guys to be planning and working on something to become an asset to your company and your boss, right? And so, and in saying that, after he said it, he didn't just back off. He asked me what was my steps, right? What were my steps to put this plan into action? You see, in my last podcast, at podcast 58, I told you that you have to have a plan of action that is reverse engineered from the end to the beginning so that you know all of the emotions and feelings that you're going to feel along the way when you're trying to create the life that you want. And the same thing goes for this plan to become an asset to your company, to your boss, right? What is your plan and what position are you planning on being at the end of this to be that asset in that position? And what are the steps you're going to take to create, right, yourself to become that person? You know, are you going to go for some more training, you know, on your own? Are you going to do things after hours on your own? Are you going to stay late after work? You know, what are you going to do? Are you going to start talking to different managers and supervisors and bosses to find out what are they